behind closed doors. I'm a fool for your love.
Hello everyone, my name is Anthony, and like always, welcome back to the Anthony James Show here on Sports Fan Entertainment. Once again, it's time for Power Rankings. Last one of the regular season. Crazy, I know Week 17 is upon us. Next week, we will know which teams are number 1 through 6, and like probably many of you, this is your last week. You can watch your team. As a Vikings fan, I didn't think it would be this case after the 5-0 start, but here I am, and let's get to it. Power rankings. First and foremost, surprise in my power rankings. I actually moved the Cowboys up 1. They're now number 1 instead of number 2. Patriots moved down a slot. Main reason, the Cowboys destroyed the Lions. I wasn't expecting that. After watching that game, I knew I had to move the Cowboys up because they've been playing really good football. They are a scary team right now. They are definitely a team that could very well win the Super Bowl this year. Patriots, they're doing well too, but the Cowboys are just doing a little bit better. Both teams are doing a really good job, and who knows, we could be seeing a Cowboys-Patriots Super Bowl. But those are my first two. Then we have the Chiefs. I moved them up to number 3, move them up 2 slots. Good job by the Chiefs. They beat the Broncos. They beat them very well. It was not a close game. It was a very good game for the Chiefs. Have a very good shot at winning the division. I think the Broncos can beat the Raiders, and I think the Chiefs can beat the Chargers. If both of those scenarios happen, Chiefs win the division. Without Derek Carr, the Raiders are just not as good. That really hurts for the Raiders, but in the Chiefs' case, that's good for them because that helps them with the division. The Giants, I move them down a slot to number 4. Oh well, this team's already in the wild card. Does it really matter? I'm pretty sure they're the 5 seed regardless. Who cares? I mean, whatever. I still think this is a team to worry about come playoff time. Next up, I have, to finish out the top 5, the Raiders. Move them down a slot. Probably could have moved them down more after the Derek Carr injury. Unfortunately, Raider fans, you probably already know this, but you're not going to do much in the playoffs, most likely, without Derek Carr. That sucks for you guys. Oh well, there's always next year, right? Right? At least you made the playoffs. Next, the Falcons. Move them up a slot. I know if you watch me on my channel, if you watch me here, I consistently am negative on the Falcons, but you won the division, you move up a slot, you're now number 6, your offense has looked really good. I don't think this is a good enough team to make the NFC Championship or the Super Bowl. I could be wrong, I've been wrong in the past, maybe I'll be wrong about this, but I just don't see it. At least you win the division, at least you return to the playoffs. It's been a while. It's been a while, but the last time you were in the NFC Championship, so who knows what happens. But congratulations in that matter. You've done better than I think a lot of people predicted, including myself this season. So good for you guys. Next up, the Steelers, another team I've been hard on. I move them up 2 spots to number 7. Steelers make the playoffs. Again, like the Falcons, I don't think they'll make much noise. I don't think this team makes the AFC Championship. I think they have a better shot than the Falcons of going to the Conference Championship, but I just don't think they'll make noise. This team just hasn't been as good as what a lot of people came into the season thinking they would be. Who knows what will happen, but those are... that's what I think will happen with the Steelers, I guess. We'll see what happens as the weeks go on. Next up, the Seahawks drop them 2 spots to 8. Lost against the Cardinals, that shouldn't have happened. But oh well, this team's already won the division. I don't think they have too much to worry about. They're an experienced playoff team, and considering the NFC, they might be the only team that returns to the playoffs from last year. That's all you need. That's all you need. Actually, no, I don't think. I think the Packers or Redskins are going to the playoffs. But either way, this is an experienced playoff team. I still think they're a threat. Watch out for the Seahawks, even though they lost this week. Next up, the Dolphins. Move them up 2 slots, number 9. You're in the playoffs. First time since 2008. That's something to be happy about. Adam Gase has done a lot better than I ever expected. And I mean, of course, this is what happens. Past 2 years, I predicted the Dolphins to go to the playoffs. Last year, I even had them winning the division. What do they do this year? The one year I decide not to predict them to go to the playoffs, they make the playoffs. But you know what? Good for you, Dolphins. I know you're happy about that. It's been quite some time since the Dolphins made the playoffs, so I'm happy for you guys. Congratulations there. Next up, the Lions. Move them down 2 slots. You got killed by the Cowboys. What else did you expect? There's a chance you won't make the playoffs if you lose to the Packers. That really sucks. That really sucks. We'll see what happens, though. Would be crazy. You know, Vikings have the division for like the first half of the season, then the Lions take it, then the last week possible, the Packers steal the division. What are the odds that would happen? Talking about the Packers, I move them up 2 slots. Congratulations, you're at number 11. Very well. If you're in the playoffs and if you win the division, you're moving into the top 10. People are worried about the Packers. I don't know. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, you're a Vikings fan. We just kill you. You're right. You did. The score was a lot closer than the game was. No history is not on your side. Since you went to the Super Bowl, you've gone 0-1 or 1-1 in the playoffs every year. I don't know. It's too early to discuss it because there's a chance this team doesn't even make the playoffs. So next week we'll see. I'll be talking differently about the Packers in some regard. That's for sure. Next up, move the Texans 3 spots up to 12. You won the division. Congratulations. It sucks. You maybe will win a game if you're lucky, but you won the division for the 2nd straight year. That's something to be happy about. Next, the Redskins move them up 4 spots to 13. They're contending for the playoffs. I had you guys making the playoffs when I came into the season at 9-7. I'll be pretty darn close, and there's still a chance to make the playoffs. I'll be happy if you guys do in that regard. But hey, you guys, you've had a solid season. You should be happy. Kirk Cousins, your franchise quarterback. You've got a good coach in Jay Gruden. I knew you would when you hired him. Happy for you guys in that regard. I wanted Jay Gruden. But, you guys got him, and I definitely don't think you're looking back on that. Next, the Buccaneers move you guys down 4 spots. I'm disappointed you lost to the Saints. No way you should have done that. But you're 8-7. I predicted you to go to 9-7 and barely miss the playoffs. I think I'll end up being right about that. So just be happy. Jameis has done a really good job this year. I think Dirk Cotter's an upgrade from Lovie Smith. Solid season. You didn't make the playoffs, but you contended throughout the season. I literally predicted this, so I'm happy about that. Next up, the Titans move you down 3 slots. Sucks, you're at 15 now. Marcus Mariota's done. He's out for 4 to 5 months. That really does suck. But at least you contended. You did a lot better than people expected this season. Interesting to see how the Titans do next year. Next up, the Ravens move you down 2 slots to 16. No playoffs yet again. Your future I'm kind of worried about. 3rd time in 4 years you haven't made the playoffs. I don't know where the Ravens go this offseason. I'll be talking about the Ravens just like I will all 32 teams once this season's over. That'll be starting after Week 17 with the number 1 pick. So we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, Ravens. I don't know where you go from here. Too bad that happened. But you're not going back to the playoffs. Another team not going back to the playoffs. The Denver Broncos move them down a slot to 17. What a disappointing loss to the Chiefs. Frankly, you've gone 0-3 the last 3 weeks. At least 2-1 you should have gone. I think you should. Honestly, I thought you guys would win your last 4 games of the season. I was wrong about that. I'm surprised. I'm disappointed with how the Broncos finished this season. Trevor Siemian's not a franchise quarterback, and yet again he proved it. Hopefully Paxton does better. I think he can. We'll see how he does next year. Nobody expected him to be a good starter in his first year. So, again, we'll just see how Paxton does next year. Next up, after the Broncos, I move the Saints up. Biggest jump of the week. They move up 5 slots to number 18. Saints, I've been very hard on you this season. I know people remember that. But you know what? You've improved. Congratulations there. You did better than I expected. Unfortunately, I think you're in NFL purgatory right now because you're not bad enough to where you'll get a top pick, but you're not good enough to where you'll make the playoffs. And unfortunately, the way you're going right now, that might last a few more seasons, which sucks if you're a Saints fan. Next up, the Colts move you down just 1 slot. You played tough against the Raiders. You should have beat the Raiders. Mainly the only reason you did was because Derek Carr got injured. Terrible season. You'll probably finish 8-8. I'm disappointed with how the Colts have done, plain and simple. Why did they do this bad with Andrew Luck? There are a lot of questions with this organization. Bills, they lost 2, move you down a slot. Disappointing loss there. You're at 20 now. Bills, you'll probably fire Rex Ryan now and yet again be on the search for a new coach. And then in a year from now, you'll be searching for a new quarterback because you're not going to keep Tyrod for one reason or another. Oh, Bills. Next, the Vikings move you down a slot. Could have moved you down more. Probably should have because of the Packers. But frankly, there are a lot of bad teams, and I don't think you deserve to move down below those teams, even though you did lose to the Eagles. I'm talking about the Vikings in a video this week with Mike Zimmer. So if you want, check out my channel. I'll be out in the next few days. You can hear that. I talk a lot about the Vikings there. So I'm not happy. Let's put it that way. Next up, the Eagles move you up 2 slots. You won this week. Congratulations. Paxton Lynch has done well, and frankly, who cares what your draft pick is because your draft pick's the Vikings draft pick, not yours. So might as well win. Solid job by Carson Wentz this year. You should be happy with him. Next up, the Cardinals. They move up 3 slots. Nice win against the Seahawks. Too bad it doesn't matter. Coming into the season, you would have thought, oh, if the Cardinals beat the Seahawks here, they probably win the division. Nope. They had a terrible season. But yet, you never lost to the Seahawks. It's like the Rams a few years ago when the 49ers went to the Super Bowl. They never lost to them. Who knows? Maybe that means the Seahawks go to the Super Bowl. I hope they do because that's who I predicted coming into the season. I had them winning the Super Bowl, still do. Next up, after the Cardinals, we have the Bengals. They moved down 2 slots. Oh, they sucked. Talking about a Super Bowl, this team, for some reason, I did have going to the Super Bowl because I thought this was their put up or shut up year. Well, they shut up. They didn't put up. Move them down 2 slots. Next up, the Panthers moving down 4 to 25. You guys suck this year. Wow, I should have expected this. I didn't. Nobody really did, but you suck this year. Oh, well. This is another team. Like, they're the reverse Dolphins. I've been down on this team for the last few years. The one year I'm finally having them win the division and be a decent team, they don't do that. Thanks a lot, Panthers. Next up, Chargers moving down 1 slot to 26. Could have moved you down more, but again, the teams below you suck. You lost to the Browns. That's an embarrassment. Oh, man. That describes the Chargers season. I'm sorry, Charger fans. But hey, that helps your draft position, so at least there's that. Talking about draft position, these next teams pretty much stay the same. Jets and Rams stayed the same. They suck. Jaguars moved up a slot because they won. Congratulations there. You beat the Titans, which is a solid team. But why? Now you're not going to get the number 3 pick, probably. Because the Bears lost. They're now at 30. And then the 49ers and Browns, they stayed the same even though they won. Because why would I move them ahead of any other team? They all suck. Oh, well. Draft season, though. Draft season, I'm excited about that. I'm doing a mock draft this week. I'll probably start working on it tonight or tomorrow. I love the NFL draft, so I'm really excited about that. So if you like the draft, check out my channel. Links in the description. It's Anthony James TV. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Anthony James TV. Link in the description. Like always, feel free to give your thoughts and opinions on my rankings here in the comment section below. I will respond to them sooner or later. Anyways, thank you for watching this video. Until next time, this is Anthony. I'm out. See you all later.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.